Good morning and welcome to our last meeting of Senate Health and Human Services. I'm going to ask Senator Long to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, Senator.
Good morning, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
So far, so good.
Let's see, we're going to open today's hearing and I'll take a motion to go into executive
So
session.
moved.
Do I have a second? Oh, wait, Sophie's not here. All right. We'll wait. We'll wait on that. Hold on then.
I'm gonna slow move it.
We don't want to.
All right, so we refer.
Oh,
I move to go into exec.
I'll second that.
so we got a motion and a second. Sophia, we started without you, then we realized you weren't here. So the motion and a
Your
second.
fans.
yes.
Pointed this out to us.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, we're in executive session. Let's start with House Bill 117. I'll move ought to pass on House Bill 117. We got a second? And then I'm going to move Amendment 2025-1611S. I have a second. I have a second from Senator Birdsall. So this amendment, it really captures the intent of the bill. It just does a couple things. One, it just defines biosimilar. And I actually just noticed a typo on that, but as I'm looking at that, but we can fix that with the committee amendment. So this just defines adds a definition of biosimilar. Well, the first thing it does is it points to the proper section of U.S. code that allows for interchangeable biological products. 42 U.S. Code Section 262I3 is the one that we should be pointing to. And then in that section, it talks about the term biosimilar. And I wanted to add that definition in our statute to ensure that that's made clear. And then the typo I've noticed is I believe there should be quotations. If you look at line 9, it says biosimilar or biosimilarity. There should be quotes after biosimilarity.
We can fix that in rules.
It just jumped right out at me.
Wow.
But
Do you want a committee amendment on the quotation?
yeah, how do you want to do that, Sophie? Committee amendment? Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. And just to remind folks what this does is there are a number of high-priced biosimilar products, and working with some various folks around the industry, we feel that this could, by allowing substitution of these under FDA guidelines, which that's what it does in lines 17 and 18, we could actually save people a lot of money with this. So I think it's a good move. So with that, any further discussion? So so the amendment 1611S, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
I move to add an extra quotation mark after biosimilarities.
I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Move out to pass as amended.
All right, ought to pass as amended. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? So I'll move consent
So moved.
and
Second.
we've got 3
Oh,
seconds.
actually, Yeah. Sorry, you got it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And I'll take that one out. Moving right along.
I move re-refer on 316.
I'll second that.
So we got a motion of re-refer on 316, a second. Senator Prentice, do you want to discuss what we've got going on with 316, or do you
I
want?
certainly would. We do have representatives from the Department of Insurance that are here for as a resource to us for any clarification. So as many of you might know, we have a Senate bill and a House bill that have both been working towards prohibiting balance billing as a consumer protection, as well as stabilizing the emergency medical services system through rate setting, which is, it's been unusual for EMS, but it is what's happening throughout the nation. We've had different bills. 316 was not where was different than the Senate's position, which has been 245, but everybody understood, not just this committee, but working with House Commerce, the Department of Insurance, and stakeholders, that we needed to find a middle ground to both protect the consumers and the ambulance services. We've come to language that's not ready for prime time today. That's why I asked for the re-referral. We'll be bringing this in as a floor amendment, but the compromise allows us to do a few things. One is to prohibit balance billing. Two is to set a temporary rate of 325% of Medicare for a 2-year period where it will sunset. In doing so, we'll be working to encourage ambulance services to go in network, starting with, at a minimum, a letter of intent or a memorandum of intent to start the process, so that we're not 2 years into this and people still haven't moved towards what we need, which is going into network. Primary, there's a permanent out-of-network minimum rate schedule. Any willing ambulance provider, which the insurance department would like to talk more about that, but that provides us again with a temporary bridge and sets up better positioning for contracting, where we will be setting up a commission, which will have some of the language of what was once Senate Bill 130, which looks at the system issues, and takes some of the languages of House Bill 316 and merges those two together to deal not only with the constant review of the rates as they interact with the CPI, but also looks at the systems of care and makes recommendations as to, are there better models for delivery of EMS systems, and how do we incentivize that for happening? We will be. I didn't get that. Yeah, I know. I didn't get it either. No, I do get it, but Siri sometimes surprises me. We'll be working on collectively on a second cost study. There were questions that were raised fairly on all sides of this issue about the first cost study, which was taken on under the best of intentions, but had admittedly flaws, and we need to address those in order to get this right, because there's too much at stake for the public if we don't get this right. So we're working on another cost study, and those are the high points of this. We are committed to prohibiting balance billing. We are committed to stabilizing the EMS system. And at the same time, we need EMS to move into network status, but we have other issues to resolve before we can make that happen. And I support going into network, just not at this particular moment. So that's what I have to say. Senator Rochford, you were there with me, and
Yeah,
and then Senator Bird's even though I'm not the chair, I saw her hand.
Just to reiterate what you said, the re-referral just for the committee is we do have a tentative agreement. The agreement is outlined in the handout that you have that was provided by the Department of Insurance. I want to thank Senator Prentice for all of her work on this. I want to thank the members of the ambulance community. I want to thank Department of Insurance, and also want to thank our colleagues in the House. This was a long process to get to this point. But at the end of the day, we have an agreement that will achieve the objectives that we all set out to do. And that was, again, eliminate balance billing and to provide stabilization for EMS services around the state. And I think that, speaking from someone who has lost EMS services in my district, we have some EMS services that are currently threatened. I think that this will provide the relief that's needed to ensure that when you pick up the phone, dial 911, someone shows up. So this has been a lot of work, and again, I want to appreciate the senator's help on this and everyone else involved. The House came, we negotiated this. It was a good faith effort from all those involved, And this is a win for everybody. And this is how we serve the people, and we help those that elect us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I just have a question
Yes.
on, thank you all for the work that you do on this. Where it says, temporary in-network rate schedule, the insurance department will develop a form that must be used to initiate the contracting process. How is that going to, speed things up? Because I know that the, ambulance services have not really, and the insurance have not really, accepted either one. How is that going to speed things up?
So I'm happy to speak to this, and if I need any backup, I think that Michelle Heaton and Jennifer Smith can help me. But what it does is it's like an MOU, a position of we want to enter into, like, get on the 325 list and not go in network to start,
Okay.
but we want to start this process. And what will be happening, so the signals go out, the discussion is open with the different plans. At the same time, the commission, Senator Birdsall is going to be working on some of the language included, what's in here around, standardizing some of the contracting language. So those
Okay.
two are going to find a way to get together, but the way to, because they have not, as I think what you're trying to say, they've not been synchronized on how to get into network. This is
Okay,
the first step
that's-
towards being synchronized
Okay.
without making them go today, but making the commitment so that 2 years from now, when this rate expires, we're not all sitting around the table trying to do something else. This is a good faith effort on everyone's part.
Okay, so it is going to synchronize, so everyone has, okay, that's what I need to do.
Is
Thank
that
you.
Fair?
Add to it quickly. That's why the any willing provider provision is
Yeah,
in there
that's a better-
as well, because we recognize that we, as policymakers and regulators, we want to encourage everyone to get into network because that's how the system is going to work the most efficiently. But it's hard to do that because we can't force them to contract. So what we're trying to do is bring down those barriers and give the incentives. So there's that much higher in-network rate to incentivize them to go into network. We have the any willing provider and the standardized contract provisions that will be developed to make it easier. But we also don't want people playing games and prolonging things so that the providers are unable to get to that 325%. So really the 325 in-network rate starts when you initiate the process to come in network. And then there are penalties. So if the providers fail to, respond to information requests or to see the process through, after a certain period of time, they will go back down to the out-of-network rate. It's the same with the carriers. They have so many days once they have all the paperwork to finalize that contract. And if they don't, we can take regulatory authority again, or we can use our regulatory authority to take a regulatory action against them.
Any further discussion? All right. So the motion is re-refer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Consent, not consent.
I'm not going to put it on.
No.
No, we'll leave it on
Regular
regular calendar. Yep. And Senator Prentice, you want to take this out?
I would be happy to take this out. Thank you.
I move 377. Pass.
Motion 377 and motion and a second. All right, 377.
You have an amendment?
So I have an amendment 1884S. I'll move that amendment.
Second.
All right, and what this, the high points of the amendment were a couple things that it does. A couple of the major points on this. One, if you look at the original bill, 377, it makes, oh, do you have that?
Yeah. I've seen it, but I just want to have it in front of me.
This is my only concern. I want to show.
Oh, yeah, we can fix that. Yep. So the amendment does a couple things overall. One, it removes the provision that violation of this is a felony. I think that based on a lot of the concerns that we had, we heard is that discipline under these provisions should be similar to discipline under any other provisions of the practice of medicine. So this would put any violation back to the Board of Medicine, and the Board of Medicine would adjudicate that through their regular processes. The other thing is this essentially grandfathers anybody who's on these treatments now. That won't be taken away from them. They can continue on that. Previously, there was a date, I believe, of January 1, where they would have to stop therapy. Again, this is if someone has started this, they can continue on that. So that's what the amendment does. Any further discussion, or
Yeah,
I know you have
on
something,
page
Senator.
2, a person who violates this section may be subject to administrative discipline. I would like to change the may to a shall.
Okay.
I think we're definitely softening the blow, with the federal
Yep.
penalty to, but may is a gamble, so I just assume put the shall in.
Sure. Okay.
Is that what was in the other one?
Let's go back.
We need to mirror both of them.
No, it didn't say. That was the felony part.
No, I meant we were matching it with the previous
Yeah, what was that? 710.
surgery.
Find that out.
It's just with the violation instead of it being,
No, I know, but we were using it to match the language that was in the surgical one. So I want to make sure that if we're changing this one, then we probably need to change, or vice versa.
If I may, with the may versus the shall, thank you. It lines it up with so this gets referred to the Board of Medicine versus it being a criminal charge. And so it gives them, which they may, take up they're going to have to take up the process, but they may put administrative discipline in place because they have to investigate it. So,
That's a good point.
and I mean, having been someone who has been on the administrative side of doing these investigations, you have to come in with the, the allegation that's been made, and you have to, fully investigate it, come up with your findings, and then proceed with if discipline is warranted, with discipline that's warranted. So it's hard to put into something and say that you shall do it, but they may do discipline, but what they shall do is take it to the Board of Medicine.
If you want to make it match 712, what we did for 712,
Yeah.
we change it to a violation of this, section or whatever. So for 712, we wrote the violation of subdivision is unprofessional conduct and is subject to discipline by the Board of Medicine under RSA 329, blah, 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 OPLC, blah, blah. Violation of subdivision shall not be grounded for additional civil or, so we can talk about.
right now.
Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Kate. I had a moment. I understand. No, it's fine. Is that the better? Do we have that on paper anywhere? I mean, I know you have it. Do we want to?
So this assumes a person who violates, not who allegedly violates, a person who violates. They violated.
Would it clarify if it said a person who has been found to violate shall be,
Yes.
has been found
In
in
violation.
violation of this section shall be subject to.
Right. I know it's going to give heartburn to some of the other people that wanted the federal, and so I
Yeah.
want to kind of stiffen it up a little bit, but not go to the extreme that.
Because again, speaking to Senator Prentice, they have been found
Yeah.
to be in violation. So there's that would
It's a
tell me
process.
that
Think about the
the
board.
process has come, that they've been deliberated, they've been found to be in violation of this, and therefore, so I think that would clarify, I think that would address your statement, but also address Senator Avard's concerns.
So we're looking at a person who is found to have violated, sorry,
The Board of Medicine.
310 is the.
What you just said, the Board of Medicine. Yeah.
person who is found to have violated this section by the board,
Shall be subject to administrative disciplinary action.
yeah,
Can you read that back to us?
I'll read it. A person who is found to have violated this section by the medical board,
Is it medical board or board of
It's
medicine?
Board of Medicine,
Board of Medicine.
BOM, yep.
shall be subject to administrative disciplinary action.
Under RSA 310. Board of medicine.
Just,
I
but
think,
the
right?
Board of Medicine is under OPLC, so it would just be taking it down to the, not taking it down, but adding in that level of specificity, like OPLC manages, if I'm correct, they manage the Board of Medicine.
Yeah.
Like they manage
Yes.
the Board of Nursing. So using the OPLC statute is broader, even though when it gets there, they're gonna put it to the right. Whatever way we do it, yeah. it's fine.
OPLC has a standard mechanism of
For vetting and pushing.
disciplinary due process.
So then leave it as 310. So one more time, can you,
Shall be subject to, is it
Administrative disciplinary action under RSA, what did we decide?
310?
310, and shall not be subject to criminal liability.
Yeah.
Stop it.
no.
Just kidding. He slaps me over the head all the time.
That's why we have you on a different side of
I
the table
know.
now.
She can't reach me from here.
That's
It's like being in
exactly the
back
case.
seat.
Yeah.
We keep the
I'm
gavel
away
away from her. You hit her. Keep the hammer away from her for your protection.
Maxwell silver hammer.
Yeah.
Oh,
a person who is found to have violated the section by the Board of Medicine shall be subject to administrative action under RSA 310 and shall not be subject to criminal liability?
Yeah, and then effective date.
that's consistent, yep.
So that we made the motion on the amendment. That's a committee amendment.
So moved.
So Senator Abart is going to move.
You can, if you want, withdraw the motion for 1884 and just adopt this as.
Yeah, let's do that.
committee amendment.
Yep. So I'll withdraw the motion on the amendment.
You
It's-
need a motion to move the committee amendment?
Yeah.
I move the committee amendment.
So moved. Seconded.
On the committee amendment. All those in any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Move on to pass as amended.
Let's wait a minute. Yes.
On the committee.
Committee amendments 5-0. There was another amendment that was given to us by Senator Innes, 1610S. This deals with the private right of action.
I don't have that one. Yeah.
I wondered if, because that came a long time ago, and
Yeah.
I thought about that this morning. I asked Sophie to make copies of that.
Right of action.
You don't need it.
I think you-
And what Senator Innes's amendment would do is it would give a private right of action for anyone who has been harmed by this.
So I move the amendment
Therapy.
so we can talk about it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yep,
I move 1610.
I'll second that. And this provides a civil remedy. So to that point, this provides a civil remedy to anyone who has gone through this and has been harmed by this, and it gives them a mechanism to move forward on this.
I had a bill similar to this. That didn't- yeah.
You want to know? Want to sit on this one for a while?
I like it.
I know this was buried in my packet, and I remembered it this morning. We can can hold on to this if
I prefer to hold on to it. I think we've come up with, you know, I,
I mean, not the, not,
not the bill. but
not the
amendment,
underlying bill,
amendment.
but
Yeah.
this, you know, late breaking, somewhat early breaking amendment. I think that we, you know, struck the place where we need to be on the continuing care, and then we should stay there. You know, they're different things.
So Senator Birdsell, would you, again, like I said, this was buried in my, my packet. Would you be willing to take a look at this between now and the time it hits the floor to take a look at that? Okay.
All right,
So do we need to withdraw any motion?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Yeah,
there's 1610, 1507.
look at the top bill though.
Okay.
No, I think that one is for, oh,
The latest one, so April 15th, 1610 was the latest.
April 15th, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, April, it's the April 15th, 16th.
So we'll look at them and introduce them on the floor for an agreement.
Yep.
All right,
So we got a motion ought to pass
as amended.
as amended. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
So it's 3-2. Assuming you don't want this to go on consent.
No on consent.
All right, no on consent. Who's on this one? I mean, I'll take it out if there's,
I can
you
I'm
know,
on it.
Senator Birdsell, if you want.
check it out.
Senator Birdsell. Who's on it?
I think I'm on it. I'm not sure.
No, but Senator Murphy's the only one that's.
Senator Murphy.
I'll take it out.
Do you want, you fine with that?
I'm fine.
All right, well, we can arm wrestle for it.
You want to, or I'll take it out if you don't want to. All right.
All right, so that's, we're cleaned up on that. We're good to go. I don't, is there any further discussion?
Absolutely,
or-
absolutely. It's Senator Rochefort's birthday today.
Oh,
I
please.
didn't know that. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you and Executive Committee. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Senator Rochefort. Yeah, that too. Happy birthday to you.
And with this, I'll have a motion to come out of exec.
I'm as red as a Republican right now. Yes, motion to come out of exec.
Second.
Any, all those in favor of coming out of exec?
Aye.
Opposed? So we have concluded the business for Senate Health and Human Services for the session, and with that, we will adjourn.
I'm gonna make it to GNC. All right, beautiful.
All right.